All right, good afternoon. It's okay once again. Tonight we're gonna be get right in it. We're gonna start talk about dictatorship. First of all, I think that and feel very confident that the United States will never be a dictatorship. We have one. It just won't happen because we enjoy our freedom, not being directed to do everything and let everything be a challenge. So tonight it's very important that we take heed to what's being taking place and what's going on. I got to the voter, since we have a democracy, we know it's being challenged, but I believe that as a whole, because long as we have election, we'll never have a dictatorship. But that can be as well as a way of being a dictator, that majority always vote for the dictator. But I believe that we're not going. It's not going to come down to being having a dictator, because we have seen that go down many ways. We could look overseas and look at Russia. We could look at China. We can look at all these countries that have a dictator. They can't do nothing. They can't operate outside of their home or in their surrounding and make decisions. Everything is made by the government, meaning anything business wise, anything going on, have to be approved by him. So what this president administration is doing, trying to get us believe that it's better, and we don't believe that, because a dictatorship is a sense as a king. And when you have a king is subject to be assassinated or be taken out, because now whoever will be in that leadership or whoever be in that position is the dictator. So we don't think that we'll have that. We know we have some assassination of president, or then some that were running for president. But we know that we're not going to come down to having a dictator. So the present administration is trying very hard. They trying to set things in play, and I don't think it'll come to that. I always tell people just keep watching, pay attention to how things going on. Now the most important thing is, which I go back to one of the videos that I made. This will connect to that one. Now Congress, which is Mike Johnson, is not doing nothing. Now my question would be, all those Republicans, I believe it's, if I won't make a mistake, I'm gonna say 200 plus. I think it 200 plus. But all of them, you gotta think about. I never seen all of them that is working together as one, and everybody agreeing with what this present administration doing, take control of everything, putting police, National Guard on the streets, taking authority away from state. So we must understand there's a whole lot of things in operate. And then what fails, the Republican states are supporting him with that position. Now, get me wrong. If I say it wrong, it always can be corrected. People always fact check people, always on the internet, so they can fact check me, which is good. I have no problem with that. Now, with taking National Guard from another state, other than supporting them in some type of disaster, which is so important. But then when you take National Guard to use them as policing, I think that's unlawful. because now you're saying that I'm taking the National Guard, making them as part of the army, which most of the time that's all when we activate the National Guard, they'll go in to fight in a war or support the military and some type of support. But then when you do it for the city and the states, then you have a conflict because there's a governor. The governor have authority in his state, and if you don't submit it, if you don't recognize it, that it can be, you know, not approved. But now the most important thing, and I'm not speaking of violence. I'm not trying to say violence, but when we look at that and everything, we have to say, okay, so if they want to activate National Guard, but for the state, and like I said, I'm not trying to make violent, but you got to think about it. If they use the National Guard to take over their street, and now not using the National Guard presently in that state, that's can be a serious conflict. Because me, I'm not saying everybody has me. I will put my National Guard on alert. I will command them. I'll put them at every airport whatsoever. I will put them airport, and if other state National Guard be flew in my state, I will put them right back on the plane and fly them right back where they came from or wherever they drove. Put them right back in a buses, truck, or whatsoever, and send them back because the government have that authority. And most people say, well, the president can authorize. No, the president can authorize them, but he can't authorize them to go in nobody else's state to take over. So me, I will put my National Guard on the ground and protect them. I will put every airport on alert because they're in my state that that plane will not land. You can't force it to make you land. It will not land because it's my state. I'm governing. I have the authority. So I will do a lot of things. And most people say, how can you say all that? And you have to stop where you have to wake people up with different situations. I'm not saying take arm against National Guard against National Guard, but you have to set up a barrier saying that okay, we don't have enough. Start cutting off everything when they get there. The same way that the police can do, and they can arrest them on violation or unrightful arrest because it ain't no do no good because it caused a conflict in other states. So with that, I say all that, not being violent, but we have to do something to stop the motivation of all this taking place. We just can't sit by and let it go. Something got to rattle some minds in Congress because something got to rattle some mind in the Senate because when you take all these people, I think the Senate is 53 majority Republican, and then Congress majority because we have to realize that we have to put up a fight and we have to do what's right. So it's 219 that we looking at in Congress that the Republican have the majority lead. Now you got to think about it. There's no way all 219 people agree with each other. It never ain't they ain't did it in since the we develop Congress, and it never will happen. So if they don't like the speaker by start, they can get rid of the speaker, because either way they look at it, if they fighting to keep their position, fighting to keep their hold their position, but you got to think about it. All the stuff that you are letting take place, the citizen of your state gonna finally wake up and say, "You're not the person that's gonna represent me. You pass this bill that gonna hurt me financially, gonna hurt me being stable, gonna hurt my psychological thinking, gonna hurt my motivation, gonna hurt everything that I'm trying to do, other than trying to survive." So we look at all of that and take all of that in heed. And most people say, well, the base gonna stick with the Republican. But you gotta understand, you can only be conniving to a person for so long. Somebody was soon gonna wake up. And I believe that this stand, the the voters gonna wake up. And not if the Republican voter doesn't wake up, the Democratic voter that didn't vote in the last election, they'll wake up and say, "Hey, we can't do this. We got to get everybody to the poll. Everybody got to vote." And I believe that if everybody do that, either way, that we're gonna come out victorious as Democrat. So, like I said, I'm independent. I go for what's right, but the Republican, they're not nowhere being right. It's just so much, and I know it's hard for the Democratic to want to do things right. I'm not saying they just totally do things wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying, they got to put a little fire in on the wood, because if they don't put no fire on the wood, the Republicans are gonna burn it down, burn their house down. So they need to put some fire on the wood. Let them try to put the fire out, or put out the flame. Let them start trying to put out fire. We cannot go as Democratic be putting out fire all 4 years. We can't be that. So we got to do something different. We got to make a hole that the Republican got to put some fire out versus us. So that's what we got to do. We got to be motivated enough to get people to vote, talk to people, get out there. And I'm not saying that gonna do it all. I'm not saying everybody get out there. If you're a voter, get out there. Some people ain't designed to go out there and speak face to face to the public. But what they can do, we always have this online. We always can text people, vote, vote, vote. Please register. You know people that is your friend and your surrounding. You should have an idea of saying, okay, I'm gonna try to get my friend, everybody to vote, and that's how we go from there. So everybody's not a face to face person. And then too, we got so much danger now. It's hard to do the knock on the door. I won't recommend that to anyone unless you got a strong will. But knocking on the door now is harmful to your health. So, and I know people say we gotta get out of knock, but we have to do it in a smart way. We got to do it with some wisdom. We got to have events to get people to come versus going door to door, because you never know what's behind the door. We don't want nobody getting hurt or being killed, because that's taken away from one being a voter. So we got to figure out ways that we can get them out to the public, that we can talk to them, uh, invite them to an online section and explain to them, let them ask questions, and hopefully they know 100 or 200 people that ain't about, and put a low number. They know 10 people that ain't registered to vote, that need to register, and get ready to vote. But all of that, we have to look at that. We have to go with that because, like I say, all this digital that we have, we can manage it versus going door to door. And most people say, well, what about the people that don't do? Pretty much everybody either watch TV, everybody got some type of online, and they can't afford go tablet, but somewhere they can be at a place have at some type of place that they can get digital internet. So that's not the problem. The problem is just getting them out to vote, and that's the key. And like I say, I don't think that we will become dictator. That's not my big word. I don't think we'll ever be a country that have a dictator. I don't think we'll go there, you know. And most people say, well, you might be wrong. It seems like we're going there. But no, we're not going there. I think when it all boils down, whatever the scheme that the Republican have, they plan a role, however they plan it. Why they plan it this way is unknown at this point. But somewhere there's a lot of voters gonna wake up and and I'll hopefully they choose another candidate other than the MAGAs and pick a candidate that is for the people. And that's what we have to be strong at. We just can't just pick any candidate because he's Republican or because they're Democrat. We got to see what they're doing and what kind of support they're doing. There's a lot of things that we can fault each party. We understand that, but right now we fall in the Republican with everything that is taking place. We cannot be worried about Democrat. We got to worry about the Republican. Whatever I don't care if I'm gonna say that. I don't care if the Democrat don't do nothing for the next 3 years. Republican has got control of the House, the Senate, the President, and the Supreme Court. So we cannot be worried about Democrat. We need to be worried about what the Republican is doing and what they're setting up. We got to set up a barrel that will stop them where they're staying. And that's what it's so hard about the Democrat. I like what the company they have following the law, but the thing that they have, they react slow. It's a slow reaction. And I remember a time and I remember so well when O'Connell, which he's kinder than a fox, and he's leaving. But if we fight hard for that seat, we probably get that seat. But you got to put some effort in getting it. But what O'Connor did, he told them that don't take the vote, that they'll hold the vote for the judge, which will complicate it. And she went, I don't know. His thinking is some form out there. But how he's thinking to manage, sometimes he ought to go out there and fight a fight and get a little dirty. Everybody sometimes have to get a little dirty in the politics. Ain't no saints in no politics. Ain't no saints and no politician. So we have to do what we can to stay on top. I'm not saying no illegal stuff, but you still can fight a little with some fire because they fighting fire, you fighting fire. You can't blame nobody. It's like a person that was saying the Democratic come with 9, but the Republican have Uzi. It's okay to have a Uzi to fight with the battle. I have a big cannon to fight with a Republican because they cunning. They the most cunning people I know, and they can lie well and speak it like it's the truth. It's unreal how many times they can tell. I don't care who coming to the mic that's Republican. I ain't seen it yet. I'm gonna say this year, stepped to the podium and was truthful. And you know that's bad. When everybody in the Republican Party, which is 2019 Republican in the House and Congress, have the same opinion or the same destiny and not speaking against what they know is wrong and what they're trying to defend. Me, I'd rather to give up something to be right than to deal with being in the same party that is just evil cricket and liars. I couldn't deal with that. And most people say, why you run as a Republican? And I just don't want to report it. Now, the Republican Party, yes, I would have run because I voted Republican because I say I'm independent. What I mean by independent, I vote for either or when it's a just pick. Because some of the Democratic candidates were no just pick because you think some of the stuff they stand for and what they were trying to pass. So not all of them been good pick, as well as the Republican. Not all was best pick. Most all of them really, but some was. So that's how we have to look at it. So with all of that and talking about it, and I know that people are gonna get tired of talking about it. People gonna get tired of hearing. And the biggest thing that I think the media need to stop saying about the Democratic. They put them down more than they do the Republican. I don't know why that. I expect the Democrats to fight, and look crazy and just you got to come to the reality of they ain't got no control. They can fight all they want to. Now, what they can do, like they doing, fighting in the courts. That's the only place they can fight and have a real chance. You can stop stuff for a minute, but it's not gonna last. And most people say fight to the end. Sometimes it's good to just relent it, save your money, put your money somewhere else, put your money, Democrat put their money in the candidates that have a possibility of winning. Now, if they have parties in every state, they should focus on these open seats and start looking for people to run for office. And that's the only way they're going to get people to run for office because most people are not going to do it. You have to invite them or get somebody, reach out. I guarantee you, and this is what I know, because they run me dry. I'm gonna say run me dry with all these messages to my donate, but they ain't running a message saying that okay, the you run for governor, but do you want to run for this position that support us? Nobody. And then I don't think they understand or either knew or know that I run for governor. But I said that's okay, but that's a thing that you have to look at. Every candidate that run for governor in 2022 as a Democrat, they should be looking at them and say, hey, I know you ain't running for office this time. Can you run for this office? Because you run for government, you got some type of stability. We're gonna give you the funds, get you some airtime, and we're gonna help you fight. And that's where it should take place. And just that state alone, every state I'm quite sure they have a budget to put into each state because not every state having a election, not in every position. So that's what they have to focus on because you can't tell me you sending people message for donation, but then you ain't sending them, hey, do you want to run? Are you calling these people? It's just like it's unknown. So that's some of the things that to focus on. But I support boy. He ran for Senate last year, but now he runs for governor. My goal was to run for governor. It was running for president. Was on getting everything in order that I can be ready in 2027 when I go natural. Just start going and trying to do the meet and greet thing and trying to get my name out there. But right now, I'm just being patient, putting things together, and set things in an order that I can be ready. But it is a challenge but it's not so much a challenge because I believe the people gonna look at looking for something different than the Republican and Democrat. Now we know the MAGA gonna stick together because they're a cult, so they gonna stick together. But if we got some Republican that we can flip, that we got some Republican that will vote for something new because they don't see the old Republican in the party now. MAGA Republicans, however they want to look at it. But we can do it. And then I always say, if in, I would like their win, but if not, I hope that it be someone that got some sense that win and and take the challenge of doing what's right for the people, not for themselves or not for the party or not for big business or big corporate, not for that, but for the simple citizen that have an everyday living, the citizen that buys things for the corporation, buy things from all these business, but it's just the citizen that work for the business, it's the citizen that do all this stuff that we overlook for the past so many years. I'm gonna say for the past 30 something years, we overlook all of that being just a citizen. And they expect citizens just to vote, but don't get nothing out of it. Everybody gets something out of it except the citizen. And most people say, well, they passed these bills, they passed that bill. Yes, they passed the bill for the benefit of themselves, not to help the citizen, the simple citizen, but to help business and corporation and help them to get vote next time. But like always, as soon as they get in the office, they don't pass no legislation. They don't fight to pass no legislation. What the Republican are doing, don't agree with them, but they just forcing stuff. Now, the most important thing I know, and most of the Republicans don't agree with nothing with their party is doing. Now, my question would be, how did they get all of them to vote for something that was just as ugly as I don't know what, but they got them to vote. But most of them don't agree. We just got to have the confidence. And me, I would pull them to the side. I'm like, hey, if you think that you feel like you're gonna lose sometime we have to go and support a Republican candidate, especially when you know it's red. It ain't no Democrat gonna win. Especially if it's red and they fight for their life. And you talk to them and say, hey, we will support you in your campaign. We will help you run your campaign. We will help you in a sense. Not so much we'll just bow down and give you everything, but we'll support you. But we need your help. And that's how you do. That's how you compromise with the other party. But it's just a fight. It's different ways that we can win. It might be a little ugly, but we can win. But that that's some of the things I wanted to talk to tonight. But we just got to stay strong, stay watchful, see what stuff going on, and just keep our eyes open, and when we see that door open, we charge in now, put our foot in the door. We charge in now hard. Yes, it's gonna be hard. The next 3 years, the 8 months that we just went through, we just can't have the whole next 3 years just like that. We just can't do it. We got to figure something out. But I'm just looking forward for the future, seeing what it's going to attain, and we just got to hold in now, and the people got to have some confidence, and that's what it takes. But like I say, at this point, uh, 2025, hopefully, when all these videos start being watched, 2026, 2027, 8, and then we'll hit that last go, and then we are in the shoot. We are running hard. So we just look forward for it. Just keep watching out for me, and we just need to just stay strong. And that's all I have for tonight. And hope to see you next Monday. I always put it this way: if not next Monday, the next Monday following, when people actually start watching the video. I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to get up to 2026, build up all these videos, talk about something, keep remember what my opinion is, because if I don't do all these videos now, I'll forget some of the stuff that what happened and how it happened, and what I felt at that time. But I'm doing all these videos. I don't have no views at this moment, not trying to get views at this moment. But what I'm trying to do is make as many videos I can, where people can have an idea of who I am, what I think, and what my goal is as president. So that's my goal. To get without that how I feel. But people can have the confidence. And hey, he might be the candidate that we need. But I look forward in the operation of the president. I served the country for 20 some years, so I think I can serve a little more. But just stay faithful, have hope, and look for the change. All right, have a good night.